An anonymous Reddit user has written an essay about his interactions with modern women. I still regard California to be my home for many personal reasons beyond the obvious one that it is the place in which I was born. I had never heard of this place before today, but I had made up my mind to go check it out anyway. When I finally reached my breaking point from the repeated betrayals of trust by women who then expected me to clean up after them, I committed myself fully to MGTOW. I found your article when doing research on this very topic. Actually, I found it to be quite useful. Taking part in MGTOW helped me see and value many facets of women that I had previously overlooked. I saw women were suddenly interested in me at work and other places I normally wouldn't be approached by them. This turned out to be something unexpected. They were trying to tell me that a similar increase in male admirers occurred at the same period. They had trouble expressing themselves at first since it was so unbelievable. However, events have taken a different route, and roles have been reversed. This requires them to prove they are worthy of my time and interest, and my poker face usually drives them to make blunders and second-guess themselves along the way. So far, I've only dated people in their fives, but I can now also report that folks in their nines have shown interest in me. This is a big shift from how things were before. Now I realize how foolish it was of me to waste my time on ladies who were never going to appreciate me. I was worried that people would judge my new way of life, but it's been great thus far. I was worried that others would judge me for my unconventional way of living. One or two of the girls I know have admitted to me that they stay home on the weekends and do nothing. When I have free time, I enjoy working out, reading, or doing something new that I've always been curious about, but was hesitant to try because I thought people would evaluate me negatively. When I consider my previous lifestyle and the lives of my married friends, my new one is undeniably preferable. Not having a work at the moment has given me a great deal of freedom and spare time. You devote a lot of time to your girlfriends, whether you're actively conversing or just listening to them vent about the difficulties of their lives. A few men I know have told me they'd rather not think about women at all when it comes time to make important life choices. Many people who ask me about the logic behind MGTOW eventually come to the conclusion that it makes perfect sense to them. As I tell more and more people about MGTOW, this keeps happening. Despite my lack of dating experience, I knew it was time to start looking for a partner, or the reasons I didn't have a romantic partner. In other words, I was merely expressing my exhaustion and need for a day off. I should clarify that what I meant to say was that I am ready to accept this as my new normal. The end of my tale is here. It's an intriguing case study of someone who rises in their organization by marginalizing women. It's a perfect illustration, in my opinion. It's highly likely that the 9s and 10s would lose interest in you as soon as you started paying them even a modicum of attention. It's unfortunate, but true, because this is just how female bodies are constructed. It was difficult for many women to accept that some men would never consider them romantic partners, since straight men would never turn down a woman in the first place. When it does happen, they are surprised. This results in desiring things that are unattainable at the present time. There is a strong correlation between tense relationships with one's father and being in this situation for the majority of women. Due to their father's absence, it's likely that they are succeeding academically too well. It's not easy to stay looking good over time. Therefore, if a man ignores her, horrible memories from her past resurface. She's well aware of the times she was disregarded. But now it seems like they are genuinely interested in what she has to say. They want to know why he shows no affection for her and is so distant from her. An entire woman's world might come crashing down when a man treats her with such disdain. They convince themselves that if this man did not find them beautiful, then perhaps no one would. As a defense mechanism, they will likely accuse you of being a gay. Abandoning women is, in a word, a certain way to lose your mind. If you are successful in life, single, and content, women will feel less safe approaching you and will feel the need to constantly defend themselves. It's like you always have a mirror on you, reflecting their worst fears back at them. This is why women will do anything to silence men like you who dare to tell the truth about women's nature. They're prepared to resort to any measure to achieve their goal. For example, when males adopt a stoic demeanor and begin discussing the complexities of female psychology, most female listeners become defensive and may even accuse their male counterparts of being woman haters. This happens because, when in monk mode, guys often talk about women, even though at least some of their judgment stems from their own feelings of inadequacy. They nevertheless attack bachelorhood and the men who chose it. They are worried that it'll make it harder for single men to locate a compatible companion, a group of women who agree with this person and reassure him that he is doing the right thing by living the way he does. By defending his actions, they are, in effect, endorsing who he is as a person. They want to plant the seeds of a future romance with him since he is currently unavailable, and because it would be disastrous for the entire country if he was unable to inspire romantic sentiments in a woman, especially a beautiful one. Question of what the most important number is in her world arises when a heterosexual male responds in this way to her abilities she possesses, in particular the capacity to keep her feelings constant throughout protracted time periods. She may appear to agree with you on the surface, but her inner monologue is screaming that a guy is ignoring her, and as a result, she is losing her mind. You can count on them to try to paint you in a bad light at any opportunity. As I've said before, you tell them you're not interested in pursuing them or that you're leaving. They'll see it as a sign that you have nothing but contempt for females. Simply stating that you are the leader will convince them that this is the case. Women are putting in a lot of effort to keep men who act this way on the fringes of society, where their bad reputations can't do any harm. People will tease you and call you names if they find out you use the term MGTOW. Many of YouTube's employees are women. If women held top executive positions, it's likely you might guess what kind of laws would be put in place. If you have a good imagination, you can probably figure out the fundamental rules of this story that is exclusively available to paying customers. Since he isn't actively advocating for his cause, the reaction to his proposal to apply it in the event that women are in leadership positions has been muted. His friends and family think he prefers to be alone most of the time. You know what I'm going through, asks the man who can't tell another man how he really feels. Since MGTOW has been around for as long as the internet has, I believe it has matured to the point where its adherents have established its own ideology, not to mention terminology and acronyms. My best guess is that it uses all of these in its strict adherence. We live in a time when ideas and rumors may spread rapidly thanks to the development of the internet, and this is the area where women have the most trouble communicating with us. Women have a heightened awareness of gossip's ability to disseminate information and shift the focus of social interactions. They are completely cognizant of the dangers of gossip in general, and they understand that gossip that is explicitly directed at them poses an even greater danger because it diminishes their perceived value. They have a flaw that makes them less desirable everywhere, which makes it harder to recruit good men. Once a guy was forced to marry, he would never settle into his role as head of the household. A man can be pressured into marriage